1968 Dodge Charger RT Restoration, Part 13, the Finish Out. Hey, alright, let's get into the video. Okay, I am installing the striker on the deck lid. We want to center that thing up so we have room for adjustment side to side. And what we're doing this for is in preparation of setting the latch support. And here we go on that. Okay, now we have removed this from the original trunk area, so we have to remove the remnants of the tail light panel, and that's what we're doing here. We're drilling out the resistance welds so we can get that separated from the latch support. And a few left. And now we can get those two pieces divorced. And there it is. That's the final remnant of the original taillight panel. And now I'm installing the latch itself, getting that centered. And we always want to center it so that we have room to move it side to side for adjustability. Really important. And getting it set into place, locating it, and prepping for the welding process. And now I'm dressing down the welds, plug welds, around the taillight panel. And once again with the 60 grit flap wheel, blending in the area. The flap wheel does such a great job of blending in the area. Really going to give it a factory resistance weld appearance. And moving on to the 80 grit on the mini D.I.Y, and then we'll come back over that thing with 220. And this is all just to blend in the metal and the EDP coat, getting it prepped for primer. And final time around with the red Scotch-Brite. That joint's prepped, and here's a look at it. All the panels are really nice, tightly fit together. Looks good. Okay, now moving on to secure the lower portion of the taillight panel. And we've already done our fitting, primer, prep, and we are plug welding. And I've already knocked off the very tops of the plug welds, and just repeating the process with the flap wheel. And that gives you a really good shot of the flap wheel blending in the area. And running back over it with the mini D.I.Y, 80 grit, then 220. And final prep with the red Scotch-Brite. Getting that area nice and prepped. Okay, we're going to be using a little bit of tape to mask this area up. We've prepped the area that we want to apply the primer, and we want to be accurate with the primer. We do not want to apply primer or any type of coating onto surfaces that have not been prepped. That's always a bad situation. We don't want to get into that, have problems later. And here I have some primer. Now this is auto body primer, and it is a high build sandable primer. You always want to make sure the primer you apply says it's sandable. If it doesn't say it, then it is not sandable, and that'll be issues for you later. And we're putting just enough on the area to hold it. We don't want any corrosion issues later, so a little bit of primer. And there's a shot of the finished joint between the taillight panel and the lower valance. And so we're going to come back between the lower valance panel and the taillight panel. We're going to go ahead and apply our sealant. Now what I use is 3M Fast and Firm sealant, and that's a auto body specific sealant. And before the end of the project, before the paint is applied, all of the joints I will apply this sealant to. We always want to be really thorough, not have any voids in the sealant. We don't want any corrosion issues later down the road, years down the road. And that's a shot of the sealant finished. All right, moving on to fitting the quarter panel extension pieces. And I'm going to set that thing up there to where I think it's going to fall and be in a line. Make a reference mark. And now we're going to start by drilling out that area, and then we're going to progressively use larger bits until we get a really nice finish, or fit I should say. We don't want to start with a big drill bit size and have an oversized hole. This allows us to be really accurate and have the correct size mounting hole for this extension piece. All right. Final fitment. We have nice consistently round holes. And here I have a bit that I'm using just to knock off or deburr is what I'm trying to say. And now it's time to fit the bumper. And this is going to tell us if we've accomplished all of this work back here correctly or not. And getting that thing secured down into place. And I'm using a little Milwaukee cordless ratchet, and man, that thing's really nice, not having to drag a air hose all around this vehicle. And it's not as strong as a air ratchet, but it definitely has its uses. And there it is. Really happy with the fit of the bumper. There's a shot of the deck lid to quarter to extension gap. Nice fitment on the quarter extension. Really nice parallel line on the lower valance to rear bumper. Lower valance corner pieces, nice fit. Rear bumper traces the tail light panel line really nicely. yeah, really happy with the with all the work that's been accomplished on this vehicle. And that's going to pretty much finish out this series. We've come a long way, and we're ready for the next step, which is going to be the floor pan installation. And as always, thanks for watching.